Hey everyone, at Dawn here again, and I'm back with another episode of the Bits and Pieces, the Thursday edition. Like I talked about last week, this is going to be the new home for the show. So let's get right into it. Our first article comes to us from dreadcentral.com. Title of the article is Michael Myers Actor, Halloween Kills is Halloween on Speed. Now the reason I'm covering this article is, like I said, leading up to it, I've said in numerous videos, leading up to this movie's release, we're going to keep covering any article I see about it. I'm also touching on this because I think we did last week an article from Horror Database, a Dark Universe Horror Database, where the people coming out of the test screening had mentioned that it was like Halloween on acid. So now apparently to this actor, we've graduated from acid to speed. So let's get right into it. Blumhouse's Halloween Kills recently held its first positive test screening for an audience of about 200 people. And today, Michael Myers actor, stuntman, James Jude Courtney teases the sequel is like Halloween on speed. Specifically, James Jude Courtney tells Pop Culture with Pat, I'm sure that's with dreadcentral.com, we have to make the natural progression from 1978 to 2018 to Halloween Kills. The ante has to be upped. The ticking time bomb has to be more intense. Otherwise, we're just doing what we've done before. We've pumped up the volume on this one. We've progressed late into the night. And now that everybody realizes what the stakes are, it's reaching ahead. It's Halloween 2018 on speed. So there you go. I have a bit of an issue with that idea. I'm hoping they're just talking about the level of violence, because previously I've heard Anthony Michael Hall talking about this. He's playing Tommy Doyle. I've heard them talking about amping up the violence. If that's all they're talking about, fine. But if they start changing the pace with a Halloween movie, that doesn't work. We've seen it in subsequent sequels, especially in Resurrection. Let's go back to that one. It just doesn't work. As long as they're not tinkering with the pace and they're just talking about adding more blood, more gore, I'm all for it. Let's finish up with this article. Are you excited about Blumhouse's and David Gordon Green's Halloween Kills with Jamie Lee Curtis? Let us know. So let me know in the comments below. But thank you, Dread Central, as always, for your article. But let me know. Are you excited about this movie? Are you excited to see everybody come back? Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle, and then it just goes on to recap what we've talked about weeks on weeks. Who's in the movie? Who's coming back? Who's starring? The big names of the big returning characters from Halloween 78, Charles Cypher as Lee Brackett, and Nancy Stevens as Marion Chambers, the nurse that Loomis is seen with at the beginning of the movie. And I'm pretty sure she came back in H2O as well. So now she's coming back yet again. So that's it for this article. Thank you again, dreadcentral.com. Michael Myers actor says Halloween Kills is Halloween on speed. Let's get on to the next one. All right, and to continue on to the next article, we're going to continue on with dreadcentral.com. So thank you very much again, Dread Central. Title of this article is Creepshow Season 2 begins filming next month. This article was written on February 11th, 2020 by Mike Sprague, and there's the creep there reading an issue of Creepshow. It could be an old issue, it could be a Season 1 issue, or it could be a Season 2 issue. Let's get into the article. Shudder had already announced that the second season of its horror anthology series Creepshow is coming soon, and today executive producer showrunner Greg Nicoretto from The Walking Dead took to Instagram to let us all know that season 2 will begin filming next month. Creepshow is based on the classic written by Stephen King and directed by George A. Romero. It's Shudder's first hour-long scripted series, and it was a hit with members and critics alike. The series is rated 92% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and was called one of the top 10 best TV shows right now, top 10 best shows on TV right now by Paste Magazine. More than 50% of Shudder members watched at least one episode of the series, and the show has also helped drive record growth for the streaming service. Shudder GM Craig Endler said, Creepshow has met every expectation we've had for Shudder's first original scripted series and then some, with record numbers across the board. Greg Nicoretto and his team, not sure why that reset, it was probably the ad, I do apologize. Greg Nicoretto and his team delivered an amazing show that's unlike anything else on TV, and we're thrilled and delighted to bring it back for another season. So sorry about those ads. I have ad blocker. It won't let me use it properly, and it keeps glitching because of that. But I'm excited about this. I'm excited about season 2 coming back because I was one of those Shudder users that had watched at least one episode. I'm a huge fan of Shudder. I've been pitching for it ever since it became a thing. I'm always talking about it on my streams and on here on the Bits and Pieces. If you haven't checked it out yet, get on there. They have a really good pricing scheme. I don't mean to shill for it. I don't know the guys, but it's awesome. If you love horror, you can't go wrong. They have some great original content. They have some great classic content as well. Definitely worth checking out, even if it's just a free preview. But in terms of season 2 coming, I'm all for it because I love season 1 on the most part. There were a few weak spots and there were a few highlights. With me, the highlights tend to be the one with the werewolf, with the U.S. soldiers get trapped by the German soldiers in the prison, and they're trapped with a nun that's a werewolf, and then they all turn in. They're all like werewolves, or is it they're werewolves? I can't really remember that one too clearly. But the one I clearly remember being my favorite is the children who are over and over again, they're celebrating Halloween. It turns out at the end they were actually children that died in a fire in their treehouse. But then it just keeps going, that they're always celebrating Halloween until they break the curse and they're able to actually rest. And at the end you see them going to the grave. But on the most part, really good series. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. I'm excited for this to come back. But let's finish up this article because this is a 2-4. This is a 2-4 article because there's something else at the end. So continue on. Nicoretto added, "For me, Creepshow has been a true labor of love. To be able to pay tribute to George A. Romero's visionary project and have the show so embraced by fans everywhere is humbling to this horror kid from Pittsburgh. I couldn't be more pleased and look forward to continuing the series with more ghoulish delight." Cartel CEO Stan Spry said, "Working with Greg Nicoretto and Shudder on Creepshow has been a dream come true. We're thrilled to carry on the Creepshow legacy with season 2. Season 1, then we get into a list of everybody who guest starred in season 1. You had David Arquette, Adrienne Barbeau, Big Boy, Jeffrey Combs, Kid Cudi, Bruce Davidson, Giancarlo Esposito, Dana Gould, Trisha Helfer, DJ Qualls. I thought that was going to be a good episode. That finger one where like his buddy, like the thing turns into like the little person, the buddy, I think it's called. That was not one of my favorites. I was hoping because I like DJ Qualls, but it didn't turn out. Then it just goes on to where the stories were adapted. I think the first one, the pilot, was adapted from a Stephen King short story. Joe Hill, Jorah Lansdale, Josh Malmarin, and others. It is produced by the Cartel Monster Agency Productions, Taurus Entertainment, and Striker Entertainment. Stan Spry, Jeff Holland, Eric Woods. These are all credits. But here is the 2-4. Are you a fan of Creepshow and Shudder? Are you excited about the upcoming season? Let us know in the comments below of the Bits and Pieces. Let me know, are you excited this to come? But they also announced this, that the Creep is actually getting a makeover. So I'm not too extensive. This is just a picture that the producer had put on Twitter, that the Creep is getting a wee facelift for season 2, added lips to give him a smile function, prep begin in a few weeks, then filming in Atlanta in March, hashtag Creepshow, hashtag season 2, hashtag animatronics, hashtag, I'm not sure, that's probably just a FX group. But that's great. Like, I like the fact that they did an animatronic Creep in the first season rather than just using CGI, which is way too prevalent today, and the fact that they're adding to it, that it was a success, they have some extra funding, they're able to put a bigger budget on it and put it into actual practical effects, animatronic. I'm a huge fan, and that's it for this article. It was a long one. Sorry to bore you, but the next one's going to be nice and short, I promise. Anyways, title of this article is Creepshow 2, Season 2 begins filming next month. That's it for this article, and let's get on to the next one. All right, and for our final articles, this is another 2-4, we're going to bloodydisgusting.com. Title of the first part of the article is Paramount is releasing Friday the 13th 40th Anniversary Steel Blu-ray book in May. You know I had to cover it. Everything Friday the 13th and Halloween I'm going to have on this channel, the Bits and Pieces. Crystal Lake Fridays is a mainstay on my channel. There's a picture of Pamela Voorhees with the knife. No new news under the Friday the 13th umbrella can be made until the current legal situation is cleared up and worked out. Like we talked about before, hopefully within a couple of months we'll have a break there. But that doesn't mean Paramount isn't celebrating the 40th anniversary of this slasher classic this year. How are they celebrating, you ask? For starters, Paramount is releasing the original film on the 40th edition, limited edition, Steelbook, Blu-ray, and digital, with Amazon currently listing a May 5th release date. Housed inside the Steelbook packaging, which features Friday the 13th's classic poster art on the front, will be the previous released Blu-ray disc of the uncut version. So that wasn't even included in the box set, the Crystal Lake, the one that came with Crystal Lake Memories, the Blu-ray box set. I can't remember what it was called. I have the condensed version. I never got my hands on the other one, unfortunately. That's when I've always kicking myself, because that was a small window where New Line and Paramount had actually signed an agreement to put them all out together on Blu-ray, and they all look great. But I have the first 8, not the ones after that. But even that one didn't have it. It was just in the deleted features. There was an extra special edition disc. The stuff was on there. That's the X-rated stuff. And all the X-rated stuff in the first Friday the 13th are just extended violence on the actual kills. Like Kevin Bacon's character getting the arrow through the neck. You see the arrow turn a little bit longer and more blood spurting, more of the sheep's blood that we've talked about in the bits and pieces before of Tom Savini blowing it up through the pipe. Like Bill's character on the door, hanging on the door, you see a little bit more gore there. I think you see Nettie's neck, like, you focuses on that a little bit more. That's all in Friday the 13th Part 1. That's all I remember it being. So it'll be interesting to go back and watch it again. Let's get on with the article, because I got a bit on a side rant, which happens very often here on the Bits and Pieces. With the addition of unrated footage and insightful special features, plunge deeper into the film that spawned 11 sequels, and the genre's unstoppable bad guy, Jason Voorhees, a new owner, and several young counselors gather to reopen Crystal Lake, Steve Christie, where a young boy drowned and several vicious murders occurred years earlier. They've ignored local warnings that the place has a death curse from Crazy Ralph. We got word he was peddling his way up here. And one by one, they find out how unlucky Friday the 13th can be as they are stalked by a violent killer. Sean Cunningham's Friday the 13th was originally released on May 9th, 1980. And there's a picture of what it's going to look like. I've already been on Amazon, and I'm not going to confirm or deny I might have already placed a pre-order on this. And that's it for this article. Thank you, John Squires. This article was published on February 11th, 2020. Title of the article is Paramount Releasing Friday the 13th 40th Anniversary Steel Blu-ray in May. Now let's get on with that second part of the 2-4, because we're going to continue on with Friday the 13th theme. We're going to continue with BloodyDisgusting.com. Title of the article is Awesome Dad Grants Son's Birthday Wish by Hiring Jason Voorhees to pick him up from school. I had to include this one. It's a little bit older. It's a bit of an aged article, but I just got wind of it a couple days ago. Published on February 7th, 2020 by John Squires. There's a picture of Jason. It's a mixture of all of them. He's got the chain from Part 7 around his neck. I don't really recognize, but the details of the mask and the shaved head and the chain around his neck from Part 6 and 7. You got to appreciate that. I'm assuming that's the son. Let's get into the article. Let's close that ad banner. Some kids dream of meeting Santa Claus on their favorite pro wrestler, but Sam Murphy's son, Carter, had a bit of a different wish for his birthday this year. And when Carter told him what he wanted most for his birthday was to meet Jason Voorhees, Dad made it happen. As reported by GeorgeTakei.com, Sam hired a local special effects artist to play the role of Jason Voorhees and tasked him with picking Carter up from school on his birthday. Thankfully, Sam was there to take photos and even document the experience with a video. Sam told the site, "It was quite a nice experience. He was walking down the street holding hands with Jason. He has issues with touching. He won't hold my hand. Carter hasn't shut up about it. Jason gave him a t-shirt and he hasn't taken it off since. I can't get it in the wash. Carter was so excited he hasn't stopped speaking about it since. If this isn't the best way to finish off your week and head into the weekend with a smile on your face, I'm not sure what that is." Check out Sam Murphy's video and photos below. Your move, Freddy. And there we have some pictures. We have Jason walking with Carter. Then we have Jason with Carter with the mask on. And then we have another picture of Jason getting up close and personal with Carter. And then the general picture we saw there before. So I got to say, that is Dad of the Year material right there. We just started the year. And if this was in January, which I'm assuming it was, or just recently, that's already front runner to me for Dad of the Year. So great article. I had to share it because I just thought it was very, it was funny, cute, and, heartwarming, even though we talk about bloody, disgusting things here, horror, people are getting slashed, and that's what we do every Friday on Crystal Lake Friday, is just watch people get killed and have a good time and chill out. And that's it for this article, because I am rambling. Title of the article is Awesome Dad Grants Son's Birthday Wish by Hiring Jason Voorhees to Pick Him Up from School. So thank you very much, as always, for watching the video. And if you liked the video, don't forget to comment below on any of the articles I talked about today. And while you're here, like the video, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'm at Dawn. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week with more bits and pieces on Thursday, and I'll talk to you soon.